Hi everyone, my name is Maria Teresa Santillana. I'm a reporter here at Forbes, and we're joined here at the Under 30 Summit backstage with our Latinx pitch competition winner, Jaime Castro, co-founder and CTO of Selia. Jaime, how are you? How are you feeling right now?
Great. This is kind of surreal right now.
Yeah.
Still processing it. Well, no, super happy, super excited that Forbes gave Celia a chance, and we came here. We told everyone about Celia, and that they chose us. It's crazy.
No, I'm glad. Well, for everyone who couldn't tune in, we're gonna kind of switch back a little bit and start. What is Celia? What is the company?
So Celia is a digital health platform, and we really want is to connect patients to specialists. We want to focus on the Latino community and how we can connect them to culturally competent specialists.
Very cool. And what sparked the idea for this? What's the founding story like?
So one of our co-founders' mom is a therapist, and during COVID, I think COVID catalyzed a lot of the mental health issues and kind of the awareness, because everyone was so secluded, and it sparked a lot of the issues. But his mom is a therapist, and she was having issues connecting with her patients. So that's where the idea of creating kind of a platform for therapists came about, like a virtual practice. And then it evolved into Celia slowly over the years.
So walk me through kind of how to use it. So let's say I'm a user, I'm looking for mental health services. What's kind of that process like?
So you sign up, and we have 3 ways to match you with a specialist. So we have a questionnaire where you answer 5 short questions, and then we, on our end, we have an algorithm that checks and determines which specialist is the most appropriate for you. We have another way, which is just a 15-minute free appointment with one of our in-house psychologists. And you have a chat, and our psychologists have a deep knowledge of the network, and they can really recommend someone that is tailored for you. And the other option is more for the curious and who want to explore a bit all the profiles. We have more than 300 profiles available. They have different specialities, different therapeutic approaches, different styles. So it's kind of browsing. You browse the filters, you check the profiles, and then that's how you find. Those are the 3 ways to find a therapist for you.
Very cool. And if I'm a therapist looking to get involved, and maybe I want to be listed on Celia, what does that process look like?
So right now, you apply on our website. It's very organic, very word of mouth. We take a lot into account referrals from our network, and our team reviews your application. They review with kind of the authorities that you have all the necessary paperwork and everything, and then a few interviews, and then you're kind of in the team. But I have to say that the bar to go into Celia is really high. We have an almost 100 specialist waitlist.
Wow.
Because we don't want to grow at the expense of lowering the quality of the network. So we really take that kind of double check and due diligence of the specialist into account.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned that this is really focused on the Latino community. Is there a specific reason why, or why was that kind of the idea to be let's target this population?
So we started to notice that in the US there is this huge gap, and the mental health capacity is, as it is very deficient, just in general for the general public, but it's even more deficient for Latinos. And we have noticed that it's because of the cultural competence and kind of understanding the cultural context of the patients, and that really improves patient outcomes, and it changes the therapeutic process. So that was kind of that big gap that we saw, that there is no one taking care of Latinos in the US and even in the world.
Yeah.
So,
what has your traction been so far? Because I feel also within the Latino community, there's a lot of stigmas and stereotypes about hey, are you really going to go to therapy? Are you that sick?
So that has been one of the most challenging things we've seen in Celia, and it's that changing the culture and kind of breaking down that stigma is really hard. We try to do it by having a big community of our users, having the specialist community, kind of doing that outreach on social media, doing events, but in the end it's kind of grinding through and really trying to change just I don't know hundreds of years of just cultural baggage is hard, but we have to start somewhere, and that's kind of how we're seeing it. It's now our responsibility to really be the advocates for mental health in the region.
It's a strong responsibility. Does it feel heavy on your shoulders?
It does, and I think because now I wouldn't say we're responsible for the mental health care of our patients, but a lot of people have really found the opportunity to take care of their mental health because of Celia. Like before, it was just very hard to find a psychologist. Like you don't know where to look for, you don't know where to start. There's so many different types of processes, of styles, of the approaches. And Celia, what we want to do is just make it easy for you to just ask for help.
Yeah.
And to show you that it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that we can all learn.
Yeah.
Have you found that there's a particular age group or demographic within Latinos that has really kind of taken to this idea?
So we see that 75% of our users are actually women. So it kind of that demographic, and between 20 and 30, that's the one that have resonated the most with Celia. Even in our specialist community, 85% of our specialists are women.
Wow, yeah.
So, but I think that kind of gives us the opportunity to really go into the other demographics. How do we make men go to therapy? How do we show kind of the Latino macho that it's okay to go to therapy, and you know, there's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about this prize. I mean, $100,000 direct donation from Bad Bunny, $200,000 from Forbes, in terms of like media grants. What are your plans for it? What are you excited to kind of use that for your own company?
So it was those three key things that I mentioned in the pitch, which are awareness, advocacy, and education. So we really want to use it to kind of bring the mental health to the table, the conversation, normalize it, open it, bring athletes, artists, influencers, kind of have them open up so that people understand that, I mean, if someone like this famous or this big is going through these problems, it's okay for me to go through them as well. So it's kind of a lot of that, a lot of awareness, getting some really good advocates of mental health in the Latino community, and education. I think we need to educate everyone that asking for help is okay. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're not crazy. You're not weak. It actually makes you stronger to ask for help, because you will solve some of the issues that you have, and maybe work on ways to get better. Yeah.
Another question that kind of pops up is like how you're managing this language barrier or kind of language issue within Latino community. You know, you have Spanish speakers, non-Spanish speakers, Portuguese speakers from Brazil, maybe non-Portuguese speakers. How are you managing that? What's kind of the process like?
So right now, most of our network, all of our network speak Spanish fluently. I would say most of them speak English as well. So we have a good mix of both languages. We're starting to explore going into Brazil, so we have a few therapists that speak Portuguese. But we have noticed that you need to have those therapists that speak Spanish, because even for me right now, I'm like translating in my head, like, okay, I think it's Spanish, speaking English. And just, if I'm talking about my kind of deepest things, my most, like, it's hard to express myself in English. And if someone doesn't understand that culture, the language, maybe the therapy is not as effective.
Yeah, it's like that Sofia Vergara quote.
Yes,
if you only listen to me in Spanish, you'd know how smart I am.
I know. It's exactly like that.
Yeah, so. I'm very excited. Cool. So the next, kind of to wrap things up, what's next for Celia? Now that you have kind of all this attention, there's a big hype, what can we expect from you?
So I think we want to just be everywhere, and we want to be kind of the emissaries of mental health for Latinos. Yeah. So I think you can expect us to just have more presence online, have more presence in Colombia in offline events, and try to partner with other associations. We have a lot of, I think we have a lot of things to do with NGOs. Yeah. And I think that can get the word out a lot more, and also through companies. Yeah. So right now we want to invest a lot in reaching out to companies and scaling through the B2B. I think that's one of the key strategies of Celia in the next few months.
Very cool. Well, Jaime, this has been amazing. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you so much.